Hello, everyone. My name is Yap Yi, and I am the host for tonight's program. I hope everyone is fine and safe. Avoid going out or roaming around. Always remember to wash your hands and avoid touching your face. Most importantly, stay at home. Although this JPO family broadcasts are amateurish, but we are providing opportunities for people with different interests to learn not performance but transferable life skills. We're doing this series of program because JPO think this will be able to help in uplifting the spirit of everyone in this long period of lockdown. Please help us to do the polling, and if you have any questions to ask, please type them in the Q&A below. JPO are indeed very honored to be able to invite Raphael Alexander Lustchevsky as our special guest for tonight. Raphael is a Polish award-winning pianist listed as Steinway Artist on the Steinway and Sons Artist roster in New York since 2001, featuring the world's finest pianists. He debuted at the age of 16 with the Tokyo Symphony Orchestra. His talents taking him around the globe for more than 2 decades. Today, he is one of the most accomplished artists of his generation, performing with leading orchestras in prestigious festivals and concert halls. He won numerous top awards at the national and international piano competitions, such as the Grand Prix at Dinu Lipati competition in Bucharest. Raphael holds the master's degree from the Szymanowski Music University in Katowice, Poland, as well as Concert Excellence Diploma from Liszt University of Music in Weimar, Germany. As a sought-out visiting professor and successful music educator, he delivers master courses for young pianists in many tertiary education institutions, most recently at LaSalle College of Music in Singapore. He designed and developed two regional Chopin piano competitions in South America. So everyone, let's welcome Raphael.
Hello, hello, hi.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi,
It's a pleasure
welcome,
to be with
welcome.
you today.
welcome to our program. Could you share more about the video we have watched just now?
Oh, of course. It comes from last year. It was filmed in Brazil in the city of Curitiba, one of the major cities in Brazil. And I was performing the Chopin Piano Concerto number 1 with the string orchestra, which is quite unusual because normally you can hear the piano concerto performed with the full symphony orchestra. This project, however, was part of my concert tour throughout Brazil last year, and we made several performances with string orchestra only. The orchestra is called Sinfonia Brazil, and it resides in the city of Curitiba.
Okay. So how did you start to play the piano? What is the idea of music education in Poland, where you came from?
Well, I started playing piano when I was 5. Of course, it was, at first it was just tickling the piano, but the ultimate impulse came from my mother, who's also a pianist, and she introduced me to the piano. And later on, at the age of 6, I enrolled at the music school. I think it's worth to mention that the music education system here in Poland is generally organized in 3 levels. And the primary level, primary music school is 6 years, and
Okay.
after the 6 years, you graduate with a diploma, and you're eligible to enroll in a secondary music school, which normally takes another 6 years. The secondary music school is a professional school. So once you have successfully finished and given your exams, you will be presented a professional diploma. So it's like a college diploma.
Oh,
And with this kind of a diploma, you're eligible to enroll in the University of Music. Here in Poland, the universities of music are called academy, but they're all um, uh, and we have several of them. We have about 10 of them here, and the Szymanowski University of Music is one of the leading ones, and Christiana probably the most important.
Oh,
So the studies at the University of Music take another 5 years. So as you can easily see, the full career, the full education takes 17 years. And the universities of music usually award two kinds of diploma: the bachelor's degree after 3 years of study, and after following 2 years, you get a master's degree diploma.
oh,
So that's more or less the system, the structure. And as you can see, it works as a pyramid. You get the large number of students in the primary school, then the selected ones go to the secondary school, and the best ones reach the.
what's it called? Okay. Was there any particular moment which determined your future career?
I think there were many, but I remember very clearly the moment when I first traveled abroad, and I first went to Japan for the CD recording. I was still a very young boy. I think I was 16 by then, and I was extremely excited. It was actually the result of winning first prize in a national Chopin competition in Poland, held by the Chopin Society in Warsaw. So the immediate result of it was an invitation to record for this Japanese company, and a series of sponsors promoting it, the CD, the release of the CD. So it actually made me believe that this is truly the beginning of my activity, of my career.
Oh,
There are many other moments that are very dear to my heart, and I cherish them. For example, not very long ago, you will probably all remember when the Pope John Paul II died. I was then on tour in South America, in Chile, and of course we all prayed for him to recover, but it eventually did not happen. So when he died, in Chile, it's a Christian country, the official mourning was also announced, and supposedly were concerts and cultural events had suspended. But the organizers of my concert tour and my concert had decided to have the concert and to commemorate, to pay a tribute to the Pope with the concert of the Poles performing music. So it was very touching. It was very memorable experience, and I still remember that the crowd was incredible. The concert hall was absolutely full, and
wow.
it cried. Of course, I performed the little march at the beginning,
Oh,
and I think everybody remembers that as much as I do. Yeah, and well, those moments just come up together. There are quite many at the moment. From the recent ones, I must mention also the concert at the UN headquarters, the Great Assembly Hall in Geneva of the United Nations. It was this concert was held 2 years ago on the 100th anniversary of Polish independence, regaining independence by the Polish state, and we performed with the orchestra of Chopin University in Warsaw, Poland. at in this beautiful concert hall, which we probably you probably know it from TV because of the official sessions of the United Nations taking place in there. Um, so it was quite exciting to be there.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great. So, the box of chocolates for today's title, what does it refer to?
yes, well, I think we should explain it, right? Um,
Yes.
of course, it's a quote from the famous Forrest Gump movie with Tom Hanks. And but I developed it because in 2001, when I was selected to become a semi-artist, the Steinway and Sons asked me to come up with a short statement which would describe my attitude, my opinion about Steinway piano. And
Oh,
as you may know, the concert pianists never travel with their own instrument. They usually they have to play on what they get on the stage, and they never
yeah.
know what they're going to get on stage. So most of the time, you get a beautiful concert grand piano on the stage, and you'll be happy with it. But sometimes the piano is not so good, or sometimes it's not well tuned, or sometimes it's not even technically mechanically even, which is quite important for a pianist. So so I expressed my own experiences, saying that life of a pianist is like a box of chocolate because you never know what you're going to get on stage. But once you
Yes.
have the Steinway piano on the stage, you know that you're in a good position, that you have a strong lie with you, and the piano is going to help you in your music. So that is my point, and here's where the title.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. So, what identifies a talented pianist to you? What makes them play musically, and how do you identify a talented pianist?
Well, as you've already mentioned, I had an opportunity to work with many students in different locations in Asia, in Australia, in New Zealand, and also in South America and in Europe. Uh, they all face the same kind of problems. They encounter the same challenges in pursuing music. But when I talk to them and I try to explain things, I usually pay attention how quickly they can absorb and adjust to what I say, and I pay attention to their musical imagination. So if I give them an example or if I refer to something that somehow describes the music they play, it should like open their mind and give them like a new view of what they're
Yes.
doing, and that's for me quite important how they react to it. Believe it or not, I had a student in China not very long time ago. I was giving a lecture at a very respected, um, uh, uh, very famous conservatory of music, and I had a student with me who was playing something by Chopin. I can't remember now exactly what it was, but anyway, she played it with a blind mind. It sounded like she didn't know what she's playing.
Oh,
With the
wow.
quite correct technically, but he didn't have the feeling.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
started explaining to her, well, and I started with, what do you feel when you play this music? What's your, uh, how would you describe this music? Uh, and she came up like this, sir, you just tell me what I should be feeling, and I'll be feeling
Oh, wow.
like
Wow.
that. So this is um, this is what I call the lack of musical imagination. That the student, this particular student, she was unable to imagine what she's playing. She wasn't able to refer the music to objects, to visual objects, maybe to visualize the
Yeah,
music
I understand.
and refer it to other spheres of apply for disciplines of art.
Wow.
This is well. What I also think is important for musical talented young pianists is creativity, the great curiosity of exploring, because there is a lot of exploring in music. When you get to studying the music, it's not only getting the notes right. There is also a lot of information that you're supposed to gather before you come up with an interpretation. Um,
Yes.
so that the curiosity, the creativity is also quite important. And of course, the certain naturalness in musical expression, because sometimes the students pretend being someone else, or they try to copy someone else, or they try
Ah,
to sound like someone they heard on YouTube and they think. Um, so I always try to discourage them from doing that, and instead be honest and to be natural in what they're
wow. Okay. Wonderful answers.
doing.
So, can you describe the main or the most important issues that you teach your students?
um, well, of course, there are many issues. There are many aspects of saying. But if I had to mention the most important one, I think would be the phrasing, the natural development of um, the work, and as we are using the two hands, it will be the proportion, right proportion between the right. As it's neither usually a main line or a more important line in the right hand, for example.
Oh, okay.
There is a melody on one hand and an accompaniment on the right hand. Left hand. So we have to be aware of the proportions. If the main theme is coming here, it should not be um, overloaded by the companion of the left hand, for example. Just
I understand.
and well, another thing is avoiding things that obstruct the natural flow of music. And it's not only um, what I have in mind is not only what you perform, what you do on the keyboard, but also the way how you present yourself at the piano. There are pianists who are exaggerating in gesture. They're very theatrical, and it actually distracts the audience, the listener, and it also distracts the music which they perform. Um, so the things that obstruct the natural flow of music should be avoided. And well, and some technical issues like right breathing, like keeping steady your mind and body.
Ah,
A little bit of this mental game that involves preparing for the public performance. With um, the steady pace. What I call it, steady pace, something that you what I mean by that is that you don't do abrupt things. Even if you play rubato, we
yes.
know probably all of us know what rubato is.
Yeah.
The pace must be logical, steady, and the rubato should not interfere, not become, not obstruct the flow of music. And it's very easy to describe it with um, when you drive a car, you don't push all of a sudden the acceleration pedal to
Yeah.
the button. or all of a sudden just lift it up and let the car just roll. Um, you have to be in control all the time.
Yes.
So that's more or less.
Great, great. So, what does it mean to be honest in music? Is
Uh, that,
fairness is fairness of interpretation an important figure?
yes, it is. It's actually very, very important to be this honesty that you just mentioned. Yeah. Um, what I mean by that is that your creativity, of course, it's a very important factor, but it must be kept within certain limits, in a certain frame. Right? Um, uh, it must not compare and overcome the sense, the meaning, the essence of the work. If you're just showing off and the creativity is on top of everything, then you sort of misinterpret you come to interpret the work because the first the first thing the audience gets to see is your creativity and your sort of image of the music, but not the music itself. Um, so interpreting is not only about here I come to the other extreme that interpreting the good interpreting is not just about playing right notes. It's about knowing what they mean, what they what they stand for, what the meaning of, of the word is. And um, so when I think of young pianists, many young pianists think that of course it's a matter of our time. We have to live in a moment when technique and very important factors. So many students think that piano technique, the command of the keyboard, is the most important thing. And then playing off in the right tempo and without black hand. Also, even some teachers think that way. But what they forget about, what they can't see, is that they're not making music, and they only play notes. So it's very important. It's very important to be an interpreter, a creator, within certain limits which are given in the score, but not just the player. So English language is so rich in those names. There are many words in English that to describe a person who plays an instrument, who plays the piano player, a performer, an interpreter, an artist. So what we aim for is the interpreter and eventually an artist, and not just a player.
Okay. So, knowing what our Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra is doing, do you have any advice or views regarding the activities that we are doing?
Oh, guys, I must say I'm very happy to learn about your activity and learn about what the orchestra is doing. I think it's a great activity and outstanding idea to bring young people together, to teach them music, to sponsor and support the children from discapacitated families or areas to reach out to rural areas, not only cities, concentrating in cities. I noticed that you probably had a little bit of inspiration from the famous SEMA in South America, which was developed already 1.5 or 2 and there are many, and I support and I fully agree with such initiatives. They're very worthy, and they should be. And I wish you all the very best you can. And if I ever come
Thank you.
again, I would be very happy to get involved in it somehow. If you have any music piano, I'd be happy to.
Oh, we will most welcome you. Thank you. Thank
As
you
I
very
did
much for
many years
kind words.
ago. Who's that boy here? Huh?
There was quite a few years ago. I had a class with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still have. I had this photo with me. I have this photo with me, and it's a very nice memory. I enjoyed my visit to Malaysia at that time, and all the time I've been to Malaysia several times. Great pleasure. I remember also performing the Symphony Orchestra, the Symphony Orchestra in a beautiful concert hall in Kuala Lumpur. We call it Istana Budaya.
Yeah, Istana Budaya.
Yeah. It was within the festival of international festival, and I had a pleasure to play with them. So many beautiful memories from the
Okay, so now we'll move on. Okay. So now for this album from a long,
As you
yeah.
can see, it's written in Japanese, and I look a little bit younger. Yeah, that's for me. Well, it was my first CD. That's the one I already mentioned in the beginning of our conversation. The one I recorded when I was 16. And it was quite a thrill to be there to explore absolutely new part of the world for me by then. And I think when I listened to this recording, when I listened to this young guy play, I'm quite proud. I mean, he did a good job.
Wow. So was Japan a completely different culture, or was it hard to get along, or like to understand them, like to really get along with them and make out an album?
Well, I must say, all the recording process and all the managing the concert was absolutely professional, and I had absolutely not a problem with that. Um, um, I enjoyed performing, and I had beautiful concert halls to play in, and so on and so on and so on. But of course, the culture and the environment is quite different. And for a 16-year-old boy, it was quite a challenge. It was quite a crush of culture, but it was a very successful one. I became very friendly with Japanese culture, with Japanese style of living, and I think I got on with them. They got on with me.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the Q&A session. So for anyone who has any questions, do type them down in the Q&A and we'll answer you. So
Okay.
so we have a question. So how is it like to be a Steinway and Sons artist?
Well, it is a certain privilege, but it's not lucrative. There is no money behind it. You just get a good treat as a pianist wherever you go in a world where Steinway and Sons have their exposition, have their pianos. You are entitled to free to use the pianos, and they provide the pianos, the piano for your
Wow.
free of charge. to provide pianists to practice in the world. So in the major cities, when again, it comes to this box of chocolates. When I travel on my own, I don't have my piano with me, so I need to find a
Yes,
place.
yes.
I need to find a piano to practice. And here comes Steinway Allen gallery, which I can use to execute and practice. And use.
Wow.
That's my favorite.
Well, was there can you elaborate more, like is there any pressure from them, or is it's completely really free?
No, not at all, not at all. And selection of the artist is a very discreet process. If you are not involved, you never know who does the selection and who actually um, influenced or sort of provided professional critics your performances, public performances. It obviously does play it is an important factor because they sort of take the opinions they tend to consideration before they and they really refer to the best control, the best control that to do to measure up.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I think there's a bit of technical issue. I can't quite hear you from my side.
Well,
Okay, could you repeat what you have said just now? Maybe a bit louder because the mic doesn't. I don't think the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying that the identification and process of Steinway artists is very discreet. They don't make it loud. They don't make it. They work in a very discreet way. So they usually take into consideration the professional critics and opinions from the pianist experiences, pianist performances at important festivals and concerts, orchestras, and so on. So having gathered all these information, the critics, the critics, the opinions, they make their selection, they make up their mind, and they invite to become as a annual.
Okay. So, what is the most challenging part of traveling around the world to give concerts?
Perhaps I should say time difference, traveling, and so on, so on. But it has never been an issue for me. I always enjoy traveling and enjoy being in contact with other cultures, other environments, people, and so on. And so on. But I do know people, I do know pianists, famous artists, who are just they limit their life to hotels and concert halls. They never go out. They never meet people. They never make friends. They're not interested in local life. This is something that I never followed, never understood, and something totally opposite to what I am. And usually when I travel somewhere, I try to explore and to investigate what I'm surrounded with, and to get to know the people with whom I work, and so on. So it's a great fun, and I always enjoy it.
Do you have any problems with the different languages?
Well, unfortunately, I don't speak Chinese, and I never learned to speak Japanese. these two languages are definitely missing on my repertoire. But I speak a few languages that help me get along, especially in America and South America and Europe.
Wow. Okay. So, what is your advice for someone who has no background about the style for a certain music?
Oh, it's a good question about the style in music. Um, um, I often talk about it, especially when I teach a lecture about Chopin, because the question of performance of the style is very complex, and Chopin is often regarded as a very difficult composer to interpret. Um, but um, um, you see, I think the essence of this difficulty in Chopin style lies in of balancing the romantic element of his music with the classical element that he offers,
Wow.
that is present in his music, and he also refers to it. Also, it's also important to say that Chopin is not only one, is not, but the composers usually give some. If you get to study the music properly, you should also demonstrate some perseverance and go into a little bit deeper into the background of the music. Chopin gives many hints and many advices on how to interpret his music in his letters, because you see, of course, in his time there were no handphones and
Yes, yes.
other appliances that we use nowadays. So people wrote letters, and he very often referred and commented his compositions, his music, to his friends, and he made advices on how to play the chords, what he meant by this music, or about the genesis of the work. How did he come up with the idea of writing this or that? And this is an enormous help for the pianist, for interpreters, uh, to, to understand uh, what is inside this music, what is possible. Um, I also referred, because you asked me about style. Style in musical style in Chopin is uh, quite an issue, because um, he, he, he often referred to Mozart as the ultimate example for him,
Oh,
and a great composer. Um, so there was even um, there was a line, a quote. I'm going to just read it for you. A quote from Mozart, and if you listen to this, it perfectly um, describes Chopin's attitude towards Mozart wrote, "Passion, violent or not, must never be expressed to the point of disgust, and music must never offend the ear, even in the most horrendous situations, but must always be pleasing. In other words, always remain music." This could be written by Chopin as well. Um, and this perfect balance of of romantic elements and classical
that's cool.
elements must be found um, that I think defines very well style.
Wow,
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think that we could talk about it for hours now. But,
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. So, for so many years of experience in performing and teaching music, what is that what is the thing that keeps you going? And do you ever experience a time where you were burnt out?
No, I never experienced that.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm feeling a little lazy, like nowadays. I mean, with all these COVID things, we get a little lazy because the concerts are not happening. Although here in Europe, in Central Europe, we have the restrictions have been lifted up, and we are slowly returning to our activities. Um, but I'm going to have in a few days. I'm going to have a first public concert with audience present, and
Oh,
apart from other concerts that will be recorded at radio. And I think we also have a link of a concert that was recorded in July, just a few weeks ago, and it was premiered at Fox Annual Festival the Royal Park next to this famous Chopin statue in Warsaw. And so normally the pianist perform there just next to the statue, and the crowd gather around them. And, it's really, um, um, 2,000 and 3,000. This year, of course, but they recorded the concert in a palace, and it was broadcast on Chopin Society website,
oh,
and it was exactly on the day when my concert had originally scheduled. So this was the first concert, which I indeed recorded in July, and another concert come up now and their life. So hopefully we'll coming to an end of the pandemic. But all of these situations make me lazy, and I got that, of course. But I think what keeps me going um, is well, I'm still being curious, curious of discovering new things, and there is more music to play, new music to play. There are so many beautiful places to go which I haven't been to yet. So that definitely.
okay. What is the most unforgettable experience you ever had traveling around the world?
Um, I had many of them. Sometimes they refer to the condition and the quality of piano, and I will just I will mention one or two of them. I remember once in India, I got to a beautiful concert hall, very modern, well built, beautiful concert hall with capacity of thousand, at least 1,000
Wow.
spectators. And I got on the stage, and the concert grand piano, Yamaha piano, rolled in, and I stepped piano to play on it, and I discovered that half of the keys did not work. The,
Sorry?
half of the keys did not work.
Oh,
They were all,
wow.
and the explanation was very simple. The piano was kept in an unconditioned room, and the humidity got in, so the wood, the keys got swollen, and they didn't work at all anymore. So the organizer was very, uh, I mean, I said, well, if you can fix it, try to fix it, but I really doubt it, and I think we have to pull off the concert. The concert was due next day, and believe it or not, they worked the entire night on it, trying to um, to
Wow.
dry it out, all this, get this humidity out of this piano, and they succeeded. The piano was packed for the time of the concert. It was quite shocking uh, and made me a little bit nervous about what I'm going to get on stage. And another story is from North Africa, where I was scheduled to play in again brand, state of the art, beautiful concert hall in the capital city of Algiers, and it was the hall is part of the radio and television premises, national radio and television, and here is the piano rolling in again, and I see it's not tuned, and it's totally out of tune. Well, of course, there was a technician, a piano tuner, and I kindly asked him to do his job, and I saw him sitting at the piano, and I realized he would never get it tuned. So he just simply did not understand what the tuning is about.
Oh,
If you play the piano and if you play other instruments, you know what is well-tempered, um,
yes.
well-tempered. So it also it has to do with the tuning. The piano must it needs to sound not
Yes,
just
yes.
but the sound must. The C in the bass and C from the upper section must they match. They should. And if they don't, the piano just doesn't sound right. The guy didn't know that, and I had to really be in a most polite way. I could ask him for the tuning key, and I did the job myself. Uh, so luckily, the piano was okay for the concert. Instead of having a rehearsal on it, I had to tune it.
How long did you get it tuned?
Sorry.
How long did you get it tuned? Because you tuned it yourself, right? How long did it take for you to
I
tune
think it took me about 2 hours or 3. I can't remember now. It definitely took me
Wow.
a couple of hours.
So, was the concert like right after or a
Yeah,
day after?
yeah.
Oh,
Same
wow.
night.
Wow. Okay. So, what will your advice for those who would like to pursue a career as a concert pianist? And is it important to be versatile?
Um, well, I would certainly advise them to be to reach out a little bit further and to investigate the music about the music they want to play. Remember that music is not only about getting the right notes. That the education process takes many years, and you don't be upset if you feel the things are not coming up the way you want them straight away or right away. It, it takes time until you reach certain ability, certain command of the keyboard, and so on. But never forget to be natural in what you're doing, to be sincere in what you're doing. Uh, uh, Try to or avoid copying others or getting inspired too much, too strongly. And, that's never. Taking good example is a good thing, but playing exactly like somebody else is not good. So again, the good balance between the two things.
Okay. Do you have any more? Okay, so uh, this link will be Raphael's YouTube channel. So for anyone who's interested, to take a screenshot or take a picture of this and support him. So now we will be ending tonight's program. So on behalf of JPO, we'd like to thank you, Raphael, for dedicating your time and energy into this interview, despite the pandemic that is happening right now. And we would also like to thank everyone who has attended and supported this program. You guys have been great. I hope you guys got the answers you wanted. And for those who are waiting for your answers, please stay as Raphael will answer your questions through the Q&A below later. Please check for the link at our JPO Facebook page and stay tuned for anyone who is interested to share any of our program with your family and friends. It'll be on our Facebook page, Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra. Before we end, I'd like to share a short video of Raphael's solo and end with a prayer. So, Raphael, do you have anything you would like to share for this video?
Yes, this video comes from last July. We've just filmed a few weeks ago at this beautiful park in the central Warsaw, which I mentioned. It is a Chopin recital, part of the festival taking place at in Warsaw every summer, and I hope you guys enjoy the recording, and you can access it on my YouTube channel and listen all the pieces today into the full recital of seven words, 7 pieces.
Okay. It's playing. It's going to play. Wow, a wonderful piece. Thank you very much. So now I'll lead the prayer to end tonight's program. So please pray in whatever faith you believe in for the COVID 19. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your faithfulness in how you have guided and equipped people in their jobs and have provided in the past. It can be scary and overwhelming not knowing how bills and obligations will be met or to not be able to provide for families. As people feel financial strain during the uncertainty, bring them comfort and peace, reminding them that you are there for them. Provide for them in their times of need. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for attending tonight's program. Goodbye.